who we are. And that is what we have come to experience. So, in the process of letting go of who we are not, will slowly get us connected to who we truly are because it is covering, it is a layer that is separating us from our truth. Now, how does the Lord or the consciousness or Sai Baba, how does it do it for us? How does this whole process happen? It happens by creating challenges, by creating an imperfect course, which is riddled with interesting challenges, adventures, escapades, and whatever you'd like to call it. Because without that, we will not let go of what we are holding on to. It's like on the path, there are these robbers, thieves who are waiting to rob us. Rob us not of our riches, but rob us of what we don't need, what needs to be taken away. Of course, we don't want to do it willingly because we are foolish. We love to clutch on to what we have and who we have, more importantly, and we will not let go. So, what does this robber do? It steals. Sometimes it steals when we are sleeping, sometimes it points a gun at us or a knife at us and takes it away. So, every time something is taken away, know that you're closer to where you need to be or who you are. And so, therefore, all this so called challenges, problems, relationship issues, fight for survival, and everything that has been set up, it has been set up not to trouble us, not to make us uncomfortable, but actually to make us let go of who we are not so that who we are reveals itself. Who we are does not come from outside. Who we are is not to be acquired. Who we are is not to be trained. Who we are doesn't need anything, it is complete by itself. But who we are not is incomplete, is the one where the challenges lie. So they have to be, it has to be taken off lovingly, gently, sometimes forcibly, because it is doing us a disfavor. It is by keeping us away from experiencing the divine, who we truly are. So, therefore, the whole of creation is so perfectly designed. The whole of our journey, our path is designed so perfectly that we can get rid of all that is unnecessary and all that is not required. So that's why the wise one said, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnavadachyate. That it is all Purna, it is all complete, it is whole, it is complete. It is complete in the way it is. And so are we because we are a part of that. And therefore, by definition, we are whole and complete. We are not perfect, but we are complete. That means we are complete with our set of imperfections. And to understand that and to accept that and to let go is really what the journey is about. The whole journey of human evolution is about that. And as you keep letting go, you start reveling into another space, into another dimension, into another consciousness, because there is a field of consciousness which knows everything, which is always alert, aware, present. We don't have to ask for it. We don't have to call for it. We don't have to pray, hey, come here, tell me, guide me, help me. That's just for the mind. where it is ever listening, ever aware, ever present. And all we need to, when we say, all you need to do is to ask, what does that asking means? It is not a physical asking. It is not saying, oh Lord, come and help me. It is an inner ask. It's not an external ask. It's an ask means we, we then turn within. We're asking our own selves. Ask and you shall receive. Ask. Ask who? Ask what? Ask the ever present. But how do we ask? Since we have not learned the language of silence, of the inner stillness, we do a physical ask through prayers, through conversations. Prayer is an ask. But the deeper ask is that connection with the inner self, which comes after having let go of everything, the stillness that we receive. In that, there is a union, there is a merger of the asker, the ask, and the one from whom we are asking. And that's when all boundaries blur and everything becomes one. And that's the whole idea, and that's the whole journey. There's a beautiful story of King Janaka. Janaka was father of goddess Sita, the wife of Rama. And he was a wise man, an enlightened man. And he ruled his kingdom, though he was a king, but he ruled his kingdom with complete detachment. He knew that he was a trustee, he was a servant of his kingdom, and he looked after the welfare of his kingdom and his subjects. And he was not attached to the chair, he was not attached to the trappings of the chair. He would spend most of his time with the wise ones. He wanted to be in satsanga, like we're all in satsanga here. And he wanted to be surrounded by wisdom. He had no interest for anything else, but he administered his kingdom most efficiently and perfectly because he was not attached to outcomes. When we are not attached to outcomes, then things happen for us. But when you are attached to outcomes, is when we have challenges, we have disappointments, we have anger, we have resentment, we have whatever. But the one who's not attached to outcomes, for him or her, life flows because you just merge with the universal will, thy will. Once a sage came to meet him, a real wise one, Shuka. He was sitting in his presence. And somebody came at that point of time running to say, the whole kingdom has caught fire. And they were calling the king to ask him what to do. And he said, do what needs to be done. Then, after a few minutes, another one came and he says, the whole of the palace is now on fire. And he said, do what needs to be done. Then they said, your chamber is on fire. He said, do what needs to be done. And he remained in detachment in this satsanga. And all this while, actually, it was a test by the sage. It created this whole appearance that the whole kingdom and his palace and his chambers were burning, to see how far detached was the king. So when the front wall of your home breaks down and you don't do anything about it and you detach yourself, you sit back and you say, all is as is meant to be. And you've experienced a freedom like never before. Because all our lives, we've been trying to fix the outcomes. All our struggle and effort is in outcomes. And it's never been to remain in our beingness, in who we are. And so the conflict always arises. There is always a challenge. There is always something that is rising. Because what is anger? Anger is frustration that outcomes are not happening. Expectations are not being met. What is disappointment? It's the same, not being met. Jealousy, not being met. Ego, endless desires, wanting more and more of those attachments. So if you look at every aspect of human, of our behavior, of our traits, it just arises from just this one. So in Isha Upanishad, it starts with this only, that Ishavasyam idam sarvam na bhunjata. So the whole essence is that everything is God. And everything in this whole universe is only God. All that exists, including you and me, is just God. And therefore, it is God enjoying the goodness of God, everything. And so we've come here to enjoy this goodness, but they say there is a way to enjoy it. How do you enjoy it? If you really want to enjoy this world, because this is the most enjoyable planet, most enjoyable place, you enjoy it with detachment. Where you're sitting here thinking of things back at home, thinking of some people there, thinking of what people are thinking about you at this point of time. We're stuck there. But once we leave that and we know that everything is as it's meant to be, because it always is like that, because it is as it is. And therefore, in that, there is freedom. In that, there is a release. In that, there is liberation. In that, there is just and you everywhere. Because this is what Guru Nanak said. Guru Nanak was the founder of Sikhism, though he never wanted to find that, but people called him as the founder of Sikhism. Because great teachers don't want a religion, they don't want any organized things to happen. They are just liberated beings. They just come, as we said, an avaduta. They come to share something with the world. And people don't learn when they are present. They don't learn anything from the master. Truth is uncomfortable to us because we are so much deeply ensconced in our own chambers, in our own dark caves. We don't want to accept it. That's why it's uncomfortable. Otherwise, if we are in acceptance, everything is so beautiful. It's like this beautiful breeze. Just look at the weather outside. Look at the clouds. There can't be a more perfect weather. In the morning when we came, it was sunny, and when we were having breakfast, it was hitting our eyes. And look, just before the session, everything comes together. The breeze has started to come. It's picking up. She's saying, "I'm here. I'm part of this." So how does it happen? Because we are not separate from it. We have removed all the layers. All separation has to be ended. We have to reach that point where there is just that. Guru Nanak was always absorbed in himself, always, and he was experiencing that which he called as a Vaheguru. Vaheguru means Guru, which is the Supreme Guru. They used to call it Vaheguru. Vaha means glory, glory to the Guru. So the family got a little worried. This young boy is lost in his own world. So we must try and get him out of that, as they have tried with every master. Even with Sai Baba, they tried. They thought he has ghosts. They try to exorcise the spirits in him. So same way, all gurus have gone through that. So for him, they said, okay, let us get him a job. Let him get absorbed in the commercial world. So they got him to become the manager of let's say a grocery store, let's call it a ration shop. And he was to give sell the grains and sugar and other things to the subjects. And those days everything was controlled by the king. So the money actually and the goods belonged to the treasury. So you have to all he had to do was to make sure the right weight was sold, money was received, and the money was accounted for. But when he would give, he would forget everything. He was so absorbed in God, he would keep putting it in and he would keep saying, Tera, Tera, Tera. Yours, yours, yours. And he would forget. So if somebody is asking for half a kilo, he would just give him a kilo. He would just forget everything. And so everybody was happy. So everybody was lined. Nobody would go to a private merchant because they thought this guy is mad. He's giving us, he already knew the schemes of one plus one free. So he was always overextending. And so slowly, you know, the word spread and it reached also the kingdom as well, the king. And they said, this guy is a cheat. He's looting the treasury. He's being dishonest. So those days, the punishment for everything used to be death. So they sent the auditor there, and they started to reconcile the sales with the money received. And of course, they knew that they had seen that how he was giving more. And when they reconciled, they found that the money was more than what was said. So that's because what did he believe? That everything was his. The grains were his, and the money was his, and the people were his, and he saw no separation. And so, therefore, for those who transcend this separation, which is completely, there's another world then. There's another world to be experienced here and now, in this place, in this time. We all of us are sitting here. Each one of us is experiencing a different thing. Why? Because it's just to do with the level of our detachment from our mind, from our thoughts. For the one who is completely beyond it, is experiencing the wholeness of this creation. Depending upon what we are still holding on to, we're experiencing that little bit of our own. We mix up. It's like making food. So when we make food, we have ingredients, right? And so as you keep mixing your ingredients, you will get the taste as you like it. So our thoughts are like those ingredients we keep adding. But when you're thoughtless, you get a salad with no dressing on it. It's just pure. If we understand this is what we've come here for, not just in this world, but even to this retreat, to get this experience. And so, as we discussed last evening briefly, the experience is the reality, not the knowingness of the mind. So last night, when Aliyananda wanted to speak a truth and she wanted to put it in the open, what gave her the courage to say what she said? It's the experience, the certainty of the experience coming from what she was experiencing, not here, but here in her heart, because that's where the truth is known. Mind wants to only know what it has planned for it. And it takes courage. We think it requires courage for people to speak the truth of what they are experiencing. But I tell you, it doesn't require courage at all. It's all about clarity. If you have that clarity, then you speak it because that's how you're seeing it. The heart knows the truth because it is experiencing it. It's not knowing anything. Thank God the heart doesn't know anything. The heart only has been given to experience. And the experience is the king. So, in the way the Upanishads were taught, or the Vedas were taught in the ancient Sanatana Dharma, they said Prataksha Praman, direct evidence. Our saints and sages were not spiritualists, they were scientists, actually. It's a science. It's as mathematical as you can get. It is as much as medicine, that you read. It's exactly a beautiful science. It's just that earlier days, there were teachers who could teach that. Like read your books in MBBS and your MD. There are professors, associate professors who teach you because they've learned that. Similarly, in the ancient times, we had our saints and sages who received this knowledge directly and they imparted it. Now, those teachers are not there. We have bookish teachers who can quote shlokas and they can quote parts of the text, but they have also learned, but they do not have the energy because it's not experiential. They know, but they have not lived it. My master told me this. You know now everything, but one day he told me, you know everything. Now live it. Now be it. And that's when I went into silence and I realized, yes, I know I am advising everybody, but I'm not that myself. And when that gets synthesized, so therefore, this is the threefold steps that have been given to us in the instruction methodology of the ancient way of teaching. It was a three-step process. Shravana, listening, you listen to the teacher. Manana, you do contemplation. And then you get the understanding of it through contemplation, through self-inquiry, because this path is of self-inquiry. And then you do nididhyasana, the most important stage. Nididhyasana means you now practice the truth in your life. You integrate it as a part of who you are. And that is when the alignment happens. The alignment of what you've heard from your master becomes now your truth. As long as you're just hearing it, making notes, and not doing anything about it, it of course doesn't give you the experience. It does not become your truth. It is only borrowed knowledge, borrowed from either the teacher or read from the books. But what have we done? We've not become one with the truth. We've not integrated it within ourselves. And once we integrate it, then you are the light because you become the truth. So who are we? We are that truth. We are the living embodiment of that truth. This is what Baba said. Prema Swarupa Lara, embodiments of divine love. He always addressed us like that, right? But he used to call everybody. So if you hear his discourse, it says Prema Swarupa Lara. So when you're listening to it, you hear that. The embodiments of divine love. That's our truth. That's our real truth. How do you live that truth? How do you claim that truth? There's only one way to claim that truth. Become that truth. I have a simple philosophy. I keep saying this to everyone. Whatever you want in your life, you want love in your life, just start loving everybody. Just see the magic. What you will get back is only love. You want to attract money in your life? Start giving charity. Start giving money to others. What do we think? We're thinking of money, holding on for our comfort. Then we are thinking of our kids who already have so much. Oh, I will leave this to my child. I will give this to, we're already planning of giving. They don't want it. Please don't burden them with, this. Do something for the welfare of the world. They are also your children. Those who are not here, those who are suffering, those, do something for what the world needs. But we're always thinking of our own selves. The understanding of the world our understanding has to change. So the principle is give and you shall get. Whatever you want to get in your life, first start giving. You want food on your table? Start giving food to others first. You want money in your bank? Start helping others. Give them the money they need. Don't worry, the Lord shall take care of you. You will see, as somebody said, money will appear to you whenever you need it. I've just witnessed this every time, and I just say, and so therefore, the whole disconnection, this whole idea of running after money has disappeared because there's enough, and always when you need it, just see how abundantly we are being looked after. Just look at this abundance. Isn't this abundance? Isn't this beautiful? So how simple it is actually, but we are so caught up. We've taken stances and positions like perhaps you would do in a rugby, or you have these quarterbacks and this backs and all that. We've taken positions And we're just not able to, we don't have the flexibility to move from there. And we're stuck to those seats of ours and those position of ours. But the one who is nimble, the one who doesn't have a position, is the free one. The wise one will never carry any ego. The wise one will be childlike, ever free, ever laughing, ever joyous, always loving. And it's up to us. It's up to each one of us how we would want to be. As I said, this time is now changing so rapidly. Things are going to happen which are beyond your imagination. Please mark my words. It's going to defy logic. It's going to defy. It is happening. It is happening very fast now. So if you still have ideas and if you still have fixed thoughts and you still have desires and you're still focused somewhere else, I tell you, you're going to have a very tough time. But if you let go and surrender now and say, let thy will be done, because the only thing that is done in this universe is thy will. Everything else is our ego. And so if you just align with this will, you will experience joy, liberation, freedom like never before, because these are the times. But if you get stuck in the mind, you will experience hell as well, because these are very strong, energetic times. Both are becoming very, very strong. Be careful which side you want to sit on at this point of time. No longer the time for sitting on the fence. It's over. I would like to be here and I'd like to be there also. Sorry, it doesn't work like that now. We're pretty much getting into a digital 0 or 1 space. So you got to decide, choose carefully, and then be there, and then let go of everything. Let go. And then experience where it will take you. Of course, as I said, experience is the king and the queen as well. And without experience, nothing will happen. And without a teacher, you cannot get the experience. This is how it works. You need someone to get you there. And then we come to what the topic really we said we'll talk about today is trust. This was just a long introduction to where I wanted to take you. And see, we had beautiful examples of trust last night. We discussed evening. But in the night, something else as well happened. So much happened. You know, if you look back, if you do self-inquiry, if you do contemplation, then you will realize, look at the most delicious dinner we had. Tell me, is there no trust there? She doesn't know the woman. She just ordered the food. She doesn't know how the food is going to be. And how do we know? We were enjoying the food. Even some part of it we enjoyed this morning as well. How do we know she's not poisoned us? Did anybody ever think that, the person can, we are just eating. We're just eating. Just imagine. We don't even know that person, a stranger, absolute stranger. And we're trusting that person. We're trusting the person will deliver on time. We're trusting these lovely ladies will, serve it on the table. Is there, can you trust? How do we know we are going to even breathe, a minute later? But we are trusting that our body is going to do it. Can you imagine? Is there a moment without trust? And yet we find it so difficult? Yet we find it so difficult because now the mind is thinking of trust. If you don't think about it, trust is happening. So don't think, just trust. If you think, you will not trust. But just trust and see, get the experience. And the experience will tell you. Remember, the experience is not coming in the mind. The experience is going to come in the heart. The heart doesn't know how to lie. Heart has no falsity in it. Heart is not devious. It's not calculative. It is not manipulative. Heart is heart. That's why it's broken many times, right? But that's okay. That's what it is. That's how you know. That's why I say trust. Somebody said that day, I'm not going to trust people. I said, no, never do that. Always trust people. If you stop trusting people, then you're a robot. But if you trust, some will take advantage of that trust. Okay, that's part of the game. Some will misuse. That's okay. Actually, as far as using is concerned, we get very worked up when we are used by people. But why? I'm telling you, God is the biggest user. Consciousness is the biggest user and abuser. How? Because it's always using us. It knows our bodies don't matter. It will bring people like you and me on the planet all the time, and it will get what needs to be done. So I am willing to be used. I know he's using me. I'm happy with that. I made my peace. And I said, okay, come on, go use. We all are. We are all indispensable. And a flick of this thing, like a fly, will be thrown out. Your role is over. Get lost. Bye bye. This is how much important we are. So the second we are gone in like this, that's it. So what's the problem in being used? This is how it works. We use the sun, we use the wind to get energy. We're using everything, and then we think people are using us. That's how it is. So what's the big deal about it, right? I don't know why we make so much noise about it. It happens. It is how it works. So what is we make a big deal out of it. We create this whole hullabaloo around it, and and say, oh, this is not right, this is not wrong, and then we get caught in our, you know, we get caught up, and then we start creating this whole big emotional drama, and then we get caught up in this mess, and then we just, all theatrics happen. So that's how it works. If you see it, there's nothing. It's so beautiful. What is our problem? Lack of acceptance.
Yeah.
We're in denial. It is, and if you do, it's freedom. Trust. So hard to get, and yet so easy to have. Unknowingly, we are extremely trusting people. Knowingly, we are scared of trusting. Tell me.
Yeah.
99% we are trusting because we don't know about it, that we are doing it. But the minute we say trust someone, because we have never sat and we have never reflected and contemplated about any of this, that how we have got caught up, how we are not living the lives that we want to live because we are just not thinking. We're like robots. We're pre-programmed. And that's how we are constantly acting, reacting, constructing, destroying, and we're just caught up in that. And if you come out of this, it's very simple, Adam. It is the simplest thing to do. And then see the freedom. I trust my master, and I'm going to do this, and I will check it out myself. Check it out. Find for yourself. But for that is the only time you need trust on the master. Because it's like the first time you taught your grandkid or your kid to swim. I remember I was very scared of the water. But there was my elder brother who said, jump, I'm there. First time I needed somebody to say, jump, I'm there. I'll not let you drown. In spirituality, there is no question of a doubt. Because, like a science, it will give you the result, cause and effect. And let the effect come. Let you decide for yourself. But allow yourself the window of experience to come through. You deny yourself, you will not listen to somebody. You will keep the windows shut and you say the light should come in. So you need that trust and the trust on the teacher so that you can experience it. What does the teacher want? Nothing from you. What does the teacher want to give you is the experience. And once you get the experience, you start to open up. We need that ray of light, that hope. And that's what the teacher gives you. And then says, don't worry, I'm always there. That's all. How do I do most of the things that I do? Because I don't think, I just know I can do everything. Because who am I? I'm fearless. I am the universe. I am the consciousness. I never think. I just jump in and I do. And everything happens. Why? Because I have no doubt of my truth. How is it that every time we sit and talk, the eagle comes? How is it every weather forecast we have always changed. Everywhere in this world we have traveled, the weather forecast always changes. How? The Lord is sitting. Everything comes to please you. Baba said this. The Lord created this world for his pleasure. He was bored. He wanted, to create a beautiful space for his pleasure. And he was love personified. He created all of us as an image of himself for love. So he wanted this love to start coming through. So the first time when I realized that I could talk to the elements was once I was sitting in the ashram and it was raining. It was raining very hard. And so my room was about from the prayer hall. My room was about a kilometer away, and it was about a 10 minutes walk, but it was pouring. And so I thought, and some people had umbrellas. I didn't have anything, and I thought, and it rains furiously, in that part of the world. I just said, I just spoke to the rain god, and I said, look, I know you have to do what you have to do, but I need to reach my room. And can you stop for 10 minutes and then you can start again? And I realized that within 30 seconds, such a downpour, it just immediately stopped. I walked out. I reached my room. As soon as I entered the building, it started to rain again. And then I realized, oh, it listens. And then I was like a child in a playground. And then I tried it every time, and every time it happened. Then I tried with the breeze, it always happened. Then I tried with the sun, and I realized this happens. I said, wow, they're listening to me. But I never ever had that conversation before. And then I realized, oh, I'm really connected with them. Then I tried with animals, I tried with dogs, I tried with monkeys, I tried with butterflies. I said, wow, this works. I tried with plants. I said, wow, this is beautiful. Nobody taught me this. But then I realized, oh, actually, it's me only. It's all me. And this is what my master kept. Because my master, Satya Sai Baba, never gave me any other message through dreams and when he spoke. He said, you and I are one. I was the one who doubted. And then I realized this is what oneness is. Oh my God. And that's why he said, you don't have to do anything. I will do everything. When I thought, oh, how is it possible? Like all of you have this question. And then I said, oh, by becoming one with him, everything will happen because everything is one. I actually do nothing, but everything happens for everybody. Everybody thinks I wrote. And now I understand what Baba used to do. All these letters used to come to him and people. So there were so many messages you come. You just read them, that's it. Because at all times, only thy will is happening. So people that start thanking me and they start saying, giving me gratitude, this happened, that happened. But I did nothing. I just allow, I don't interfere with what's happening. We interfere with our minds. We have desires, we have prayers, we have this, we have that. Once you get to this point of experiencing that nothingness, because in nothingness lies everything. Once you become nothing, you become the whole. Zero is a whole. That's why zero and O both are of the same ship. You have to let go. And it's beautiful. And I have experienced that at every moment when I need something, it just comes to me. All knowledge that I don't even know, I've never read, I have no clue. But I just seem to know everything. Only at that point when I need it. Neither before nor after. From a home standpoint, and especially a homemaker standpoint. Let's see, you have a whole pantry which is full of everything that you need in the house, right from the kitchen items to your medicines, toiletries, and everything that you need in the house, you know it is available in a pantry. You'd not worry, no, you'd not think that I will run out of it or I'll have to look for it. You know exactly where you've kept it. So, same way, in consciousness, everything is in its place perfectly. And when you know that it is there, you don't need to remember where it is, how it is. And then the time comes, click, it just comes to you. That's it. So that means you don't have to carry the luggage, the weight of trying to. Memory is the worst thing. We're scared of losing our memory. Everybody says, oh my God, I'm losing it. I'm so happy I'm losing it. Initial and many of you who are on the path feel that you've become very forgetful. And then comes that knowing which everything is known. And this is the time when we talk of the golden age, when we talk about this age of love, when Baba talked about this time, this is what is going to happen for us. In the outer world, what's going to happen is also necessary, because this for see, we are evolved people who are sitting here and having these conversations. And of course, you know so many people out there who are not ready for any of these conversations, who are out there doing what you think is not right. How will that change? For Because remember, the consciousness has to be raised, mass consciousness. For that, mass events have to take place, which will force people. When we have a choice, then we use our mind. But when we are choiceless, then we are so grateful for what we are getting. So the external events are going to change so dramatically that Baba had said once in a discourse. I don't know if you remember having read that one. Baba had said there will be a time in the future when man will come on his knees and beg for mercy. And that is when they will know that there is God and there is only one God. There is no Christian God, there is no Hindu God, there is no Muslim God, there is only one God. And He is omnipresent. And He said, once they have that experience, then they will realize that there is only one language, the language of the heart. There is only one religion, the religion of love. And there is only one caste, the caste of humanity. And there is only one God who is omnipresent. Now, just imagine where we are today and what's happening already in the world and what is about to happen, because yesterday was the event that triggered off things. And you will see how rapidly things are going to start unfolding now, because time is of essence. We are all experiencing how things are escalating very quickly. And even inside within us also, we are experiencing that time is crunching. Things are happening very fast. Sometimes we feel dizzy. Things are just happening too quickly. They will keep escalating, because another thing has been, because it took us so many years to create this world. We are in the darkest hour of the Kali Yuga, and we have to move to the lightest part of the Satya Yuga. Just imagine how quickly this has to clear. What took thousands of years to construct has to be deconstructed in a span of 5 years. You can imagine how how brutal it's going to be. Sorry, but that's how it is. It is coming. It's being unleashed now, and it is what it is. But what's going to happen within is up to you now. This breeze is coming very beautifully. If you align with it, it'll take you where you need to go. And it'll be very effortless if you surrender. But so don't be miserly. Whatever things And desires you still have unfulfilled, just let them be and give it up and say, I let go. And as Lindsay would say, I let God. So, love you all. And every time, please, as many times as you can during the day, whenever you get the opportunity, please, please, please pray. समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु 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 शांति, 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 शांति,